Hello, Ravens flock, and welcome back to Baltimore Talk, your weekly podcast giving you a recap of every Baltimore Ravens game from now to postseason. I'm your host, Anthony Propst, and I'll be bringing you everything you missed, plus my own personal thoughts, opinions, and analysis. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the regular season. Kicked off last Thursday night, Kansas City and Detroit. Kicked off the brand new 2023 season, but we kicked off yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock in our beautiful M&T Bank Stadium, celebrating 25 years there, guys. 25 years of our Baltimore Ravens in our home stadium like that. I hope everybody's just as excited as I was listening and watching to that game, because it was a great game, I'm going to be honest. Things couldn't have been better for a season opener, honestly. We faced off against the Houston Texans, which is an interesting team. We don't usually play Houston, so that was an interesting team to play. However, I'm just excited to be back. Yes, I know we've had week 1, 2, and 3 of preseason, but this isn't preseason anymore. This is the full-on 2023 season where everything counts, everything matters, and I hope everybody's just as excited as I am, because we're back with the full Big On descriptions, not that preseason couple of notes, yada yada yada, blase blase, whole lot. This is the full pen to pad, every play, every down, every whistle Baltimore Talk, and I'm so happy to be finally doing the full episodes again, like I said I would be. And I really don't know how much more of an opening I can have, except I will say I do have a little something to tease at the end, give you guys a little teaser, a little something special, but I'll save that for the end, because we got to get into the game. Starting with before we even get to that, we had a few inactives on Sunday afternoon, being Mark Andrews. He was inactive yesterday, as well was Tyler Huntley and Marlon Humphrey. Three good players, honestly. Tyler Huntley, yes, he is a backup to Lamar, so we were all right with that. But Mark Andrews, Marlon Humphrey are a very good defensive player and offensive tight end. So we were missing some key players. I'm going to be honest, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, we were dropping like flies yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, and it was not a pretty sight. I'm not going to lie to you. We did get a few of our starters. I will say right off rip, because I will get to it in the podcast, but I'm just going to say it right off rip now. J.K. Dobbins, man, tore his Achilles again and is now out for the entire season. And the season just started. But we will get to that. So, starting off with the opening coin toss, Houston won the toss, I should say. So, yeah, they won the ball, and they elected to defer. So, you know what that means? They got to start of the second half, which I can always say, honestly, Ravens flock is so much smarter to defer, as you don't know how that first half is going to go. And since we start with the ball, we will start with it. 1st and 10, J.K. Dobbins gets a nice handoff for 4 yards. Now we're on 2nd and 6. Isaiah Likely, he gets a screen pass, only a short one though. That one going for 4 yards. So now it's 3rd and 2. Lamar, he tries to go somewhere, but he's sacked and can't go anywhere. So on 4th and 2, our first set of 4, we end up having to punt the ball away, which it is what it is. It's opening week. It's literally the first 4 plays of the game. So it kind of makes sense to why we have to get into that, because that's a lot of our starters. We didn't play for 3 weeks straight, plus the 2-week intermission between the end of preseason and start of the regular season. So that's a lot of warming up to do, and that's a lot of rust to shake off, especially for Lamar, who'd been out for a long time, considering he went down and out week 13 last year at the end of last season and hasn't touched the NFL game since. So this is his first game back, which also very nice. But Moving to Texans side of the ball, it's their 1st and 10. They get a gain of 4. Now on 2nd and 6, they end up throwing a pass. The ball is deflected. Kyle Hamilton, he ended up tipping the ball just a little bit, and Roquan Smith ended up deflecting it. My apologies. Roquan Smith deflected it, but Kyle Hamilton, he got a little shaken up. He did get a little hurt. He did go in for the ball, though, so that was very nice. He was able to go in and try and put some energy and put some effort into it. Now on 3rd and 6, they don't end up getting much, and they end up going on 4th. And I wasn't sure how much they got to be 100% with you guys and be very specific. Couldn't really tell how many yards they got. So just on 4th down, they end up having to punt the ball away. But there was a flag, and it was running into the kicker. So that ended up getting them just a little closer. However, it's still 4th and 1. And then C.J. Stroud, making his NFL debut for the Houston Texans, ends up getting sacked by our boy Patrick Queen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Patrick Queen, our man, is on fire already. And we just started. And our boy Patrick Queen's already on fire. So jumping back to our side here, it's 1st and 10. Lamar ends up doing what he does best, keeps it for 8 yards. Then on 2nd and 2, Zay Flowers making his NFL debut, gets a handoff only of a yard. Then on 3rd and 1, Zay Flowers again, also now getting the first after just a yard. Which, ironically, the day I'm uploading this on Monday, September 11th, as we all remember, and take a second for that. All right. Yes, today is Zay Flowers' birthday. So happy birthday to our man Zay Flowers. And now getting right back to it. 1st and 10 here for us. No gain. 2nd and 10, there was a false start on us. So we ended up having to back it up 5 yards. 8:20 left in the first quarter. Now on 2nd and 15, Rashad Bateman gets a beautiful 9-yard catch. But unfortunately on 3rd and 6, Lamar throws the first interception of the game, of the season, right here with 7:20 left in the game. So now going back to Houston's side, it's 1st and 10, incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, gain of 7. Now on 3rd and 3, Houston decides to take their first time out, as there was also a flag on the play as well. It was a holding penalty also on Houston, so bonus for us as we back them up just a little bit. Now on 3rd and 13, they only gain 8 yards, so now 4th and 5, Texans have to punt. 1st and 10 now, gain of 6 on us by Zay Flowers after a great screen pass. Now on 2nd and 4, Dobbins, he ends up gaining 3 off after a handoff, and Lamar Jackson doing what he does best, putting his pedal to the metal, turning on the Speedy Gonzalez legs, and ends up getting the first down by taking it himself. So now, on 1st and 10, there was a flag for an illegal motion call on us. Then, after we back it up 5 yards, it's 1st and 15. Dobbins, he ends up running for 10 like the monster he is. Then on 2nd and 5, we only gain about half a yard. So they said it was in between 4.5 and like 5 yards, which is really weird way to say it and really weird placement. So it's about 3rd down and 4.5-ish yards. It was just a weird way they made it out to seem. Now, and on that play, Zay Flowers gets the first down. Now on 1st and 10, once again, Zay Flowers, he only gets 2 yards because there was a late flag, a very late flag actually. It was a legal block on the Texans. So that ends up getting us half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. So now 1st and goal, and J.K. Dobbins strikes first, being the man to get the first touchdown of the game with a minute left in the first quarter, and he dove into the end zone too. He full on dove, and we all know Justin Tucker sailed one right straight through the uprights, and he ends up putting one extra point up. So now it is 7-0. Our Baltimore Ravens leading the game with 1 minute left in the first quarter. Now, back to Houston's side. It's 1st and 10, and they only gain 3. Now, on 2nd and 7, they throw an incomplete pass. Then they go for a run play on 3rd and 7, end up getting sacked in the backfield, so it's a loss of 2. And now and actually that's how we end the first quarter. So before I jump in just to the next play, because I almost did that beforehand, I will say overall good first quarter. Did have just the 1-2 penalties on us, so I won't say it was anything bad. It wasn't anything crazy, so it was a decent first quarter. Like I said, it's week 1 of the new season. We're just getting our rhythm, getting back into it, and we just happened to do that. Honestly, like it was an overall relatively good first quarter. I will say that. But back to what I was saying, 4th and 9, going to the Texans having to punt. So now on 1st and 10, we throw an incomplete pass. There was a flag, and it was a pass interference on Houston, so that actually really helped us out, giving us the first down. 1st and 10, JK ends up going for only 2, 2nd and 8. He gets a catch for just a few yards, but there was an illegal hands to the face flag on us, so that backed us up by 10. Now on 2nd and 18, Rashad Bateman gains 8. Now here we have a 3rd and 10 incomplete pass. It was a big rush, though, at Lamar Jackson, and he ended up dropping back so far. We got an intentional grounding flag, so that backed us up another 14 after that. So now it's 4th and 14, and we end up having to punt the ball with 12:50 left in the half. Now going back to Houston's side, once again, it's 1st and 10. They only gain 5 here. 2nd and 5, C.J. Stroud runs it himself for 4. It's 3rd and 1. Houston converts. 1st and 10, gain of only 5. 2nd and 5, Stroud ends up getting dropped way back. He threw the pass. It was almost intercepted, but it ended up hitting the ground and deemed incomplete. Now on 3rd and 5, the Houstons, they take their second timeout. They take their second time out, and once they come back from it, they end up throwing a low pass, very low pass, honestly, but they end up converting, and I'm going to be honest, guys, it breaks my heart. It kills me every time I saw them, because they hit a few low passes, I'm not going to lie. I know C.J. Stroud making his NFL debut, just like a few of our players, but he's QB1 now, so them low passes ain't really going to fly here. Now, on 1st and 10, they gain 5. 2nd and 5, they gain only 1. So now on 3rd and 4th down, they take their final time out of the half, and once they come back, they end up converting on downs. So it's back to 1st and 10. They gain 5 again. Now on 2nd and 5, they get a really big conversion. I mean, we're talking at least 20-plus yards. Can't remember the specific one right off the top of my head, but they end up getting a really big conversion. So now on 1st and 10, they gain 1. 2nd and 9, gain only 4. 3rd and 5, they send a screen pass, but end up losing a yard as they threw it, and it was a loss of 1, which good on us. Now on 4th and 6, they end up kicking a field goal, and it's now 7-3 with Baltimore still leading with 4 minutes left in this half, which not doing so bad so far, but could be doing a little better. Now on 1st and 10, JK gains 4 here. 2nd and 6, Lamar ends up gaining the first down because the pocket collapsed all around him, so he had to scramble, get out of his own way, and get to step in. Now on 1st and 10, he ends up having to dump the pass away. 2nd and 10 and 3rd and 10, both incomplete passes. And now except which I don't understand how this one they said we gained a yard even though we threw 2 incomplete passes, which made no sense. I guess they were just being generous. Now on 4th and 9, we end up having to punt the ball, and we end up throwing it was a false start, but it is what it is, because on 4th and 14, we still punted the ball, so it wasn't like it was a really big deal to change or to say or do anything. Now on 1st and 10 for Houston, there was a face mask flag on us. Way to go, guys. Wait, what am I saying? Why am I being so negative? Again, it's week 1. And I will actually, you know what? I'll save this for halftime. So now on First and 10, Houston gains 2. Second and 8, they get a gain of 1. Now on 3rd and 7, they somehow end up converting on downs. Wasn't very happy about it. Now on their 1st and 10, once again, Houston gains 17. Then on 1st and 10 and 2nd and 10, they throw incomplete passes. 3rd and 10 here, they end up getting a false start, which was nice. So that backed them up just a couple. Now on 3rd and 15, they throw an incomplete pass. But there was a flag, again, on Baltimore. And this one was a roughing the passer flag. So now on 1st and 10, we take technically our second timeout is, I don't know when they really threw the first timeout. Which, again, it was weird because the only timeouts that were actually shown were Houston's 2, so I don't know where those 2 came from. The first one, at least, of us came from. Then on 2nd and 10, they throw a screen pass for 5, and with the clock winding down and them not having any timeouts left, they throw it on 3rd and 5. They spike the ball. Then 4th down, they end up kicking the field goal. Now it's only a 1-point game, 7-6 going into the half. And what I was about to say just a moment ago was the fact that on what was I going to say? What I would say for halftime, the penalties. It's the penalties. Just this first half alone, most of these penalties were on us and were our fault. So what I was going to say, essentially over the top, was we got to stop making these penalties. Like this is why it's week 1. This is why we are allowed to make these mistakes, because it's still early in the year. It's still early in the season. So we can afford to make those face masking penalties and pass interference and what other penalties we have, just because since it's still early, we won't have to worry about like that costing us a game yet. And if it does cost us a game, it's not gonna make or break our season. Yes, it could play a factor and put a damper on things. However, it's not really gonna end up costing us a whole lot, I should say. And ironically, I guess I did write it down. And another thing we needed to do was stay in coverage, because a lot of those good plays that Houston actually made were some decent passes. They had some pretty good passes. I will give them the credit. And that was our problem. We weren't staying in coverage, whether it was zone, man, blitz, whatever. We weren't staying in coverage, and we were allowing them to get those amount of yards when they got that 17-yard pass or they got that extremely big second down conversion. So just staying in coverage is very big. And then the last one that I had that I was thinking that I always say every time I see them go by, wrap up. One-arm tackles is not going to cut it. Gang tackling, 2-3 guys, all converting and smothering whether it's the passer, the runner, whoever has the ball, smother them with gang tackling and wrap up. Because one-arm tackles ain't going to take anybody down unless you're trying to get a horse collar flag or whatever. Because some of these plays could have been stopped much sooner if we just wrapped up. I swear, that's all it needed. That's all we needed. That's all it could have taken, was just wrap up. But overall, I'm not gonna lie, it's a really good first half. Like we really had things going for us. Honestly, like we were able to get in the end zone first, and even though we had a problem with the red zone on a few plays, but that's not till the second half. And that one interception did set us back just a little bit. We actually doing pretty well for the first half. And like I said already, it's still week 1. We're still in the new year, in the new season. And I'll say it one more time. Lamar hasn't been in a NFL game since week 13 last year. So this is, I want to say, around November-ish. So coming up close to a year. Actually, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, maybe or sometime between the month of November to December, Lamar Jackson got hurt in week 13. No. My apology, Ravens flock. What? Well, you all know what I mean. You all remember, so it's not like I have to explain it to you. But my point and overall thing is, we're allowed to make that one mistake one time. We do it more than once, though, it's a problem. But it is what it is. We'll get back into the recap as we always do. So, going back and starting with the third quarter, as they did, since they won the coin toss, Houston elected to defer and now is getting the ball back to start the third quarter, which this is what I was talking about here. So it wasn't from the first to the second, it was the second to the third, how they end the game with the ball, or end the half with the ball and then start it with the ball. So we're now starting on 1st and 10. We have my man Justin Madubuike sacking C.J. Stroud on the first play of the game. First damn play, my man Justin Madubuike breaks the line, breaks through everything, gets to the quarterback, and puts him down. Because now it's on 2nd and 21, and they end up throwing an incomplete pass. Now on 3rd and 21, there was an illegal shift, and they ended up gaining 9 yards, so that we ended up declining that penalty. Now on 4th and 12, they end up having to punt the ball away. Now on 1st and 10, Zay Flowers ends up getting the first down. So, great, beautiful. 1st and 10, Dobbins gains 1. Then on 2nd and 9, we gain a few 4 yards. Now on 3rd and 5, we end up taking our first timeout. So, and once we come back from it, Zay Flowers gets a beautiful catch and run for 19 yards. 19 yards, y'all. Like, again, I said it once, twice already. This is his NFL debut. This man just started his first NFL game, and I think they said he had like 25 family members in the stands watching him, and I really hope they were proud of this young man because he absolutely killed it yesterday. There were a few things where it got later in the game where it could have been a little better. We were really trying to force it to him, but overall, over-under, you know, whatever. I don't know not terminology. I don't know jokes. Zay Flowers really was killing it. So now, back to it. 1st and 10, we got a beautiful pass to Rashad Bateman for the first down. Now on 1st and 10, Zay Flowers only got a couple. Or 1st and goal, I meant. He only got a couple. Now on 2nd and goal, Dobbins gains 5. And this is where, like I said at the very beginning, this was the play he got hurt and where they said at the end that it was his Achilles and he's done for the year. For the year. And it's only week 1. Just week 1. And he's already done it out for the year. So now on 3rd and goal, Justice Hill, our boy Justice Hill ends up getting the touchdown here. So now there was a flag, though. There was a flag at the same time, and it was a neutral zone infraction on Houston. So we said, you know what? Instead of kicking the field goal, we're going to pull it back, and we end up going for 2. And our boy Gus the Bus Edwards ends up getting the 2-point conversion now. So it's up to 15-6 in the middle of the third quarter. Baltimore up as we do. So now on 1st and 10, Texans end up getting the first down because there was also a flag on us for holding. 1st and 10, they gain 4. 2nd and 6, they end up getting a loss of 1, and there was a holding call, so replay 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 16 is a drop pass. 3rd and 16, they caught the ball, but they were just short. And now it's 4th and 1, and they attempt to go for it. They attempt the 4th down, but it is no good. We stuffed them at the line and sacked them. Well, we didn't sack them, but we stopped them in the backfield. We kept them from going anywhere. So we were able to stop their 4th down conversion, which was absolutely beautiful. And we're switching back to us. So now on 1st and 10, Gus Edwards, he gains the full first down. 1st and 10, Lamar ends up, this play here was a miscommunication between Lamar and one of our running backs because ball snapped and he ends up fumbling the ball. Luckily, we ended up recovering with 6:15 left in the third quarter. Now on 2nd and 7 was an incomplete pass. But again, pass interference. Absolutely awesome. So that really helped us out. Is on 1st and goal. Justice Hill got a huge gain. Like, I'm talking from the 15 to the 5, I want to say, if I'm remembering it just correctly enough. Now on 2nd and goal, Justice Hill got his second TD in a row. In a row, people. Like, it was, we got a touchdown, then they get the ball, don't go anywhere, then he gets another touchdown right back to back. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even want to say it's ridiculous. It's nuts. Justice Hill is 43 years old, man. Justice Hill is 43 years old, and this man is still balling like he's in his 20s. So, what can I really say about a man who's that age and balls like he can hang with the rest of them? That's all I really got to say about that. So now it's 22-6 with 5:21 left in the third quarter. Now 1st and 10. Houston ends up getting a delay a game and end up having to take a timeout. 1st and 10, they only gain 1. 2nd and 9, they gain 8. 3rd and 1, they end up converting. 1st and 10, gain of 11. 1st and 10, gain of only 3. Now it's 3:11 left in this quarter here. 2nd and 7, no gain. They end up going to 3rd and 7, converting, end up getting a holding call, though, so they end up having to pull it back to 3rd and 16, and they end up getting a incomplete pass because our boy Patrick Queen was on the tackle. He was on the move. He was on the hunt, and this man did his thing. Like I said, like he does, Patrick Queen did his thing. And anytime someone asks me to help them with fantasy and they ask me, tell me to pick a defense, I always tell them, pick our defense. Because you have people like Justin Madubuike, or Roquan Smith, or Marlon Humphrey, or Patrick Queen, or Kyle Hamilton. Our defense is the top in the league. Like, you can't tell me different. Even if that's not true right now, I guarantee you it's going to be. Like I said, if it isn't already. But now on 4th and 16, Texans have to punt with 1:37 left. So it's 1st and 10 for us. Dropped pass, unfortunately. 2nd and 10, Justice Hill gains 2. 3rd and 8, we get a beautiful, oh my God, this one here. Our boy, Odell Beckham Jr. And everybody said that this would be a bad idea, getting him on this team. Well, to everybody who said, no, we shouldn't have picked OBJ, nerds to you, because this man had a beautiful 38-yard over-the-shoulder catch from Lamar. And this was absolutely insanity, this catch. I swear to God, I absolutely lost it when I saw it. I thought Lamar was overthrowing him. But this man, Odell, after missing a whole year, didn't even see the field last season one bit. This man balled out like he never left, like he never missed a beat. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to say or anything like that, because it's absolutely crazy. So now on 1st and 10, we had the ball knocked out of our hands, and Houston ended up recovering it, unfortunately. Now on 1st and 10 for Houston, they gain 4. It's 2nd and 6. They get the first down. There was a face mask call on us at the same time, and that actually ends up ending the third quarter, because I'm going to be honest, I was not a fan of that face mask call, because it was kind of garbage. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of a garbage call. Like, I've seen better calls, like complete better calls. You can't tell me you haven't either. But it is what it is. Now going to the final quarter of the game, we are since technically this one was weird, they end up having an untimed play before they technically started in the fourth quarter, because this was a play that was at the end of the third. So it's 1st and goal, and Roquan Smith, our boy Roquan Smith, ends up sacking C.J. Stroud on this one here. It was absolutely amazing. And now this officially starts the second quarter. It's 2nd and goal for Houston. They get an incomplete. 3rd and goal, they end up catching the ball. Didn't get in the end zone, but they end up having to get it pulled back because there was a flag for an illegal shift. Now on 3rd and goal, once again, ball got knocked out of bounds. So on 4th and goal, they end up sailing up a field goal for their 3rd one of the night, making it 22-9. Baltimore still on top with 13:47 left in the 4th. 1st and 10 here. Gus Edwards only goes for 2. Second and 8. We get a false start on us. So now on 2nd and 13, it's gain of 4. 3rd and 9. We end up getting a beautiful screen pass for 17 yards to Zay Flowers. Unfortunately, our boy Ronnie Stanley got hurt, and I'm going to be honest, like I said, this is where we started dropping off, like, badly. Now on 1st and 10, Justice Hill getting the ball, but knocked and taken down for a loss of 1. Now on 2nd and 11, Lamar tries to take it himself. He does a little spin move, but can't go anywhere. So now, he technically did get a yard, but we didn't get that many more positive yards like we could have. So now on 3rd and 10, Lamar unfortunately is sacked, and there was a holding flag on us at the same time. Like, it's bad enough our quarterback got sacked, but then to throw a holding flag on top that's just salt in the wound, y'all. I'm going to be honest. That is salt in an open wound. And it is what it is, though, because we end up having to punt the ball on 4th and 16. So now, back to Houston, back to their side here. So on 1st and 10, they end up gaining 1. On 2nd and 9, they get an incomplete pass. On 3rd and 9, they get a deep 26-yard conversion. And they had an injured player, George Font. Hope he's okay. I cannot for the life of me remember off the top of my head what position he was playing. But I believe... Nope, I'm not going to even try and guess it. I'm not going to even think it. But after that, on 1st and 10, the ball was knocked loose from C.J. Stroud, and we ended up recovering it. And that one was David Ojabo. He ended up doing that. And that right there, he's another one for our defense that just absolutely crushes it and kills it. So now on 1st and 10, we gain 1 here. And on 2nd and 9, Gus Edwards goes and gets only 3. So now on 3rd and 6, Odell once again gets a great catch. This one, not as long. This one only 28 yards, but still, this is where things really started to crush it and kill it. So now on 1st and goal, OBJ ends up gaining 1. There was a flag, but they didn't really say what it was for. I think they just threw a flag in this one, because they did throw a flag by accident, and I believe this was the one here. But 1st and goal, Justice Hill only gains a few, and our center Tyler Lindenbaum goes down and gets hurt. This was really not going our way, I'm going to be honest, guys. Now on 2nd and goal, Zay Flowers, he ends up getting a loss of 2. Then on 3rd and goal, Zay Flowers again gets a loss of 6. And this is where I was saying that where we were trying to force it to him. And again, I understood and understand that was his NFL debut, but we weren't really playing football. We were trying to force him to get into it, and it just wasn't working properly. So on 4th and goal, Justin Tucker, has to field goal it, sailing it up for 25-9 with 4:10 left in the game. Now on 1st and 10, gain of 6 for Houston. 2nd and 4, they throw an incomplete pass. In this one here, it ended up hitting the man's hands and touching the ground at the same time. But when you saw it originally, you wouldn't have been able to tell that, and this is why Houston threw up the challenge flag. They ended up losing the challenge, getting charged their second timeout of the half. So now on 3rd and 4, they convert. 1st and 10, C.J. Stroud himself, the QB, he ends up getting the first down. Then on 1st and 10, they end up throwing an incomplete. 2nd and 10, Broderick Washington gets a big sack on C.J. Stroud. And there you go. There's another name right there. Broderick Washington, another defensive player of ours that just absolute beast and monster. So now on 3rd and 18, they end up gaining only 5 here. Then on 4th and 13, they end up throwing an incomplete pass, and that brought them through the 2-minute warning technically, because when they did this and the ball went off, it was at 2:01. So now on 1st and 10, Gus Edwards gains 1, and this is where they had just randomly mentioned that we had 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the game. Now on 2nd and 7, Gus gains 3 more. Texans take their third charge timeout, leaving them with none left in the game, I should say. 3rd and 4, we take our second timeout, and then when we come back, Justice Hill ends up losing 4 yards as we tried to go for the hard count, couldn't get him to jump. We end up getting taken down in the backfield here. Now on 4th and 8, we have to punt the ball away. And before that, again, we use our last timeout. So now, and that only gave us 1:08 left. 1st and 10 for Houston Texans. They gain 5, 53 seconds left. 2nd and 5, they convert. 1st and 10, they end up gaining only just a couple. And then as the time dwindled down, they just ran out of time, ran out the clock. But I'm going to be honest, there was no way they were coming back anyway. So, first game of the season, and we take the big dub. We take the victory, y'all. We end up walking away in our own house, 25-9, Baltimore up. Big dubs for the Ravens flock yesterday. And all I can say is it was a great game. Like, it was for our season opener, we did a very good job. And I very mispronounced the word opener. Season opener. We did a hell of a job. Absolutely crushed it. Absolutely killed it. What did kill us, like I said during halftime, were those penalties. But it's week 1. We're allowed to make those mistakes, allowed to get past those, because once we get later in the year and we get to like week 8 and 9 is when I'm going to start changing my tune. Be like, okay, this was good weeks 1, 2, and 3. However, it's getting a little later, so we need to figure this out, change our rhythm and tone here. But other than that, it was overall just a good game, and just what we really need to do is lower and limit those penalties, and that's really all I have to really come out and say for the end of the game. Because other than that, we played one heck of a game. Because we're built like that. We are those guys. We are that team. That's all I can say. We're that team. Crazy. Absolutely awesome. But other than that, I don't really know what else to say, but I'm not 100% sure what else I can say. And now, we will be taking it on the road next week, going back to our division rival, Cincinnati, and we all know how that one went. Beat them, lost to them. Lost to them again, or beat them again. Then we get to Wild Card Weekend, and we don't need to talk about Wild Card Weekend, I'm going to be honest, guys. But we will be on the road in Cincinnati, 1 o'clock this coming Sunday. And you know me, I'll be bringing everybody the coverage in 1 week from now, next Monday, right after the fact. Or actually, you know what? I'll probably do it Sunday. I won't even make you guys wait till the next day. I will do it the same day because I love everybody who listens every single week, every single episode, tells their friends, every single thing. And I just appreciate my fan base. Whether big, small, I don't care. I could have 5,000 listeners or I could have 15 listeners. I'm going to love all of you the same because, as I said in preseason, you folks are the reason why I do this. You all are the reason why I started this podcast and why I enjoy doing it so much and why I come back to it week to week to week. Is I love bringing you all the recaps. But before I go, I did promise something in the beginning. I'm working on a little something for you guys. So this podcast might not just be audio for very much longer. I can't guarantee, I can't promise anything extra than that, but I figured I'd give you a little spoiler, a little teaser, throw a little something everybody's way just to keep them sitting on the, what's coming soon? What's coming next kind of thoughts and kind of vibes. But with that being said, I've been your host, Anthony Propst. You've been listening to Baltimore Talk, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.